Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, is another, I guess, movie review plus a little discussion video. So today, I want to kind of give you a bombshell of information that I'm not sure you knew about me. But I like Star Wars. I don't know if you knew that, but you know what? In fact, screw it, I love it. Right? I love it. And I actually recently, as of today, is May 24th. On the 23rd. I saw The Mandalorian and Grogu. And obviously going into it, right, I've seen all 3 seasons of the show. I've seen the Book of Boba Fett. If you know me as a Star Wars fan, I have seen, if it's canon, I've seen it. I've attempted to read it, right? I know books are, there's like a trillion of the books, but I try to read every book I can. I play all the games, watch all the movies, all that stuff, right? Like, I eat, breathe, sleep, and poop Star Wars, right? This is very much like part of me, right? As a fanatical franchise guy, right? So going into this movie, I knew what to expect for the most part, right? Okay, I knew, well, it's probably going to be about Mandalorian. Grogu's going to be in it. Who knows? Maybe we'll get, I read some weird fan theory that, young Han Solo's in it without a beard or with a beard or something, like Battlefront 2 campaign. So, I went into this, like I said, kind of knowing sort of what to expect, but also kind of leaving the door open as to, like, okay, will this be good? And if, like I said, as you know me as a Star Wars fan, when I say all Star Wars is good, I don't mean I love it all perfectly, right? I have issues with some of the Star Wars content, but I think for me, and this is not, obviously, this is a hot take, this shouldn't be really a hot take, but I genuinely think that, for the most part, I'd say 95 to, 96%, of everything under Disney Star Wars has been pretty much perfect. I really don't have a single issue with really any of it. 1 or 2 lines are a bit weird, that's pretty much it. Obviously, if you know me as a content creator or just as a person, I've debated Star Wars, I have defended it countless times, and that era has kind of passed. Obviously, right, whatever I like is what I like, and I move on, right? If you don't like the prequels, that's fine, right? If you don't like The Rise of Skywalker, that's fine. I don't know why, but you do. You know what I mean? There is a certain pocket of Star Wars quote-unquote fans that genuinely hate Star Wars, and I don't know how they can be called a fan if all you do is hate. Now, this isn't a new thing either, right? This is not, and I'm not just talking about sexists or racists and all those. That's another pocket, right? I'm just talking stupid people, right? Media illiterate people who don't understand this world. And it's happened all the way since the 80s, right? And I was born in 1998, so I wasn't there for the originals in theaters. But, you read reports and newspaper clippings or articles online, and you see, yeah, people hated Empire Strikes Back for the most part, right? Like, it was like, oh, well, okay, well, wait, he's his dad? Huh? They retconned it. They changed it. What? And then Return of the Jedi came out. Everyone hated that because of the Ewoks, right? Oh, the Empire gets defeated by a bunch of teddy bears? This is stupid. The prequels come out. Oh my god, Jar Jar Binks is horrible. Attack of the Clones, oh my god, it's so bad. Oh, Revenge of the Sith, that one's fine, I guess. But yeah, George Lucas, quote-unquote, this is what they said, right? George Lucas destroyed your childhood, which was not the case. Again, I do have issues with the prequel trilogy in terms of how they're created, but the content that is in that trilogy is, I don't have an issue with any of that, right? I think Jar Jar Binks is cool. I'm just going to come out and say it. I think Jar Jar Binks, he's not really that good of a character, right? But, I mean, he's fine enough. I don't think he deserves hate. I think he's cool. So, yeah, and then, of course, the sequels with, oh, how come Rey can swim? How come Luke acts the way he does? How come Hux is the spy, right? There are so many things that people hate about this franchise that are easily explainable if you have a brain, if you use that brain, or if you actually understand Star Wars lore and think about it for like 2 seconds, right? Again, media illiteracy is when people take something face value and they don't apply critical analysis or logic. They just see it at face value and they go, oh, well, everyone else hates it, so I guess I will too, right? Star Wars is dead because there's a woman? Okay. So, yeah. Again, I have an issue with certain things with the prequels, right? How they're acted, how they're written, but I don't hate them. I don't hate anything Star Wars. I think I mean, at least the canon. I don't know much about Legends, but the stuff that actually matters, right? The stuff that isn't fan fiction, no offense. I mean, that's what it is now. It might be good, but it's not part of the official lore. I think, for the most part, I've really loved it, right? So going into this film, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I pretty much loved everything, right? I love the Mandalorian show. I love the Book of Boba Fett. I'm down for this, right? And then, of course, I see the division online of people like, oh, it sucks. And I'm like, well, of course they're going to think that, right? Star Wars, quote-unquote, fans always, always hate Star Wars. It's a cycle. I guarantee you, if people hate this, they're going to say, oh, well, in maybe 5-10 years' time when we get a new trilogy, oh, the sequels were actually pretty great. It happened, it's literally, it is a cycle. It has happened before, it will continue to happen. So you get people that are just dumb, you get people that don't understand the lore, you get actually, like, bad people, like, whenever they see a black person or a woman, they go insane, right? Or you see, an Asian, and they go, oh my god, it's woke, it's like, no, it's not, people said Holdo was woke because she had pink hair, and I'm like, do you know why she has pink hair? And they're like, yeah, because of an agenda. I'm like, no, it's actually because Padme and Leia and her were best friends back on Alderaan when they were kids, and Holdo's culture have different colored hair to extend their culture and their lore and their feelings. And Leia gave Holdo a specific plant, and it means a lot to her, and that's why your hair is pink. It's actually blonde in reality. And then they're like, how did you know that? I'm like, because I read, and I like Star Wars. And I don't just automatically go to woke. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, there's certain people in there that just don't understand it, or they don't want to understand it, and they just go along with the tide, right? And then you get people like me, who genuinely love it all, right? Not just because I'm a Disney lover, or I'm biased or whatever, but because I have legitimate, real reasons as to why I love what I love, right? I don't just love the sequels because they're Disney. I love the sequels for 10 trillion reasons, right? I love the prequels for these reasons. I love The Acolyte for this reason, right? I love Mandalorian and Grogu. Yes, I think it's a really good movie. So, finally getting that out of the way, right? Again, I just wanted you to say that it's okay to love Star Wars, right? It's okay to love the prequels. It's okay to love the sequels. It's okay to love The Acolyte and the Skeleton Crew and the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian and Grogu, right? And Star Wars Outlaws. So many people online are such losers where they just belittle you and make fun of you for liking something, to the point where people that are more weak-minded go, oh, well, I got called blank for liking blank, so I guess I shouldn't like blank anymore, right? No. Again, I have thick skin. I don't really care what anyone thinks of me or says to me. That's just me as a person. So I can give two shits if someone says you're an idiot for liking The Acolyte. I don't care. Like, go suck a rock. You know what I mean? I think The Acolyte is a beautiful show for many, many, many reasons, which I'm not going to get into because that's not this video. But the point is that as a Star Wars fan, for some reason, we've gotten into this mindset of you have to follow this specific criteria. Original's good. Prequel's good now, sequel's trash, everything under Disney trash. If you don't think like that, you're a fake fan and you're an idiot. Which makes no sense, right? You would think the fake fans are those that actually hate everything, right? I mean, that's common sense, right? You can't be a fan of something and just trash it 24/7. Oh, well, Andor's good. If you're only a fan of Andor, then you don't like Star Wars. You just like Andor. Right? That's, again, I say this all the time. It's like saying I love the band Falling in Reverse, but I only like one song. The rest are all trash. Well, then you're not a Falling in Reverse fan. You're just a fan of that one niche specific song, right? If you're a fan of something, I'm not saying you have to think it's all perfect, but you should at least find some enjoyment out of a little bit of everything, right? That's kind of the point. So, again, as a person, I'm not afraid to admit that I love all Star Wars. Is it all perfect? No, but I still love it. So if you're scared, right, and I'm not trying to be the hero here, but like just straight up, if you are scared of saying, I enjoyed the Obi-Wan show, or, hey, I didn't think The Acolyte was that bad, right? It's okay. It's okay to love Star Wars. You don't have to live in fear because of some reject on Twitter who's going to call you a slur for liking OSHA. You know what I mean? Or May. Or thinking Reva was a good villain in the Obi-Wan show, right? You're not... These people that hate 24/7, they are the minority. They are. They are just the loud minority, right? It is actually normal to love Star Wars. It's not... Right? It's not normal to hate it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how we got in this stupid freaking mentality, but yeah, liking Star Wars is normal and a good thing if you call yourself a fan, right? So anyway, that being said, I liked this movie. Is it the best Star Wars movie ever? No. Is it the worst thing in the world, like some people have said? No. So I'm not going to spoil the movie, but I do, genuinely encourage you to see this in theaters. But The Mandalorian and Grogu, yes, I would recommend you see The Mandalorian Seasons 1, 2, and 3, and The Book of Boba Fett. Do you have to? No, right? You do not have to watch 4 seasons of television to understand this movie. However, you should, because A, it's good Star Wars content, and you just should watch it regardless if you like Star Wars, because it's good, and B, you will get more appreciation out of this film, right? Like Nanny and Poppy, who I saw this with, they have not seen the show Star Wars Rebels, right? The animated show. Incredible show, right? Really good. Highly recommend you see it. But they didn't watch it. Them not seeing that show, they don't know who Zeb is, right? Zeberlios, Aurelios, or whatever from Rebels, right? But they still liked the movie, and they understood what was going on. You know what I mean? They actually did see all 7 seasons of the Clone Wars. I watched it with them over like a year or two span. So they saw Embo, and it's a different dog, but they know Embo the bounty hunter, right? Maybe they don't remember his name or whatever, but they did see him. So they, even if it's not fresh in their mind, they at least, if they really racked their brain, maybe might remember Embo. You know what I mean? But certain people that have not seen Rebels or the Clone Wars or the Clone Wars movie, right? You will still enjoy the movie, but you may not get the full package deal. You know what I'm saying? Again, someone like me who has seen and watched everything, I know Zeb, and that was cool to see him, right? I liked Rada the Hutt. I thought it was Rhoda, but I guess it's Rada. And, it's not only funny to see him grown up in like a jacked hut, right? Fighting in a freaking gladiator pit. But it's cool if you watch the Clone Wars movie, which I think is better than people give it credit for. Seeing Baby Rada, right, little Stinky as Ahsoka called him, grown up, that's cool, right? Seeing Embo back, that was fun. So there's a lot of, Clone Wars and prequel era callbacks, which is cool, right? The Anzellans from The Rise of Skywalker, they're back. I want to say Duros, maybe, like the weird monkey guys from Solo and the Mandalorian show, they're in this film as well. Martin Scorsese, the killer of fun, he's in this, which was really weird. He actually gave a pretty good vocal performance. But yeah, I've also seen a lot of people say that this movie shouldn't be in theaters, right? This is a movie that should have been on Disney Plus, and it should have just been season 4, right? I disagree. I think if you actually watch the movie and you don't follow the stupid crowd online who constantly spew hate and say this movie's bad, don't see it, it's boring. Again, every person's opinion is different, but as someone who actually saw the movie, I would say that, yeah, this is a good movie. It's worth seeing in theaters. It's a fun time. It's a good action film. Is it the Revenge of the Sith or the Rise of Skywalker? No, right? Like it's not going to be this massive World War III earth-shaking movie event like Endgame or like I said, Rise of Skywalker, right? It's not trying to be that. It's not trying to be the next biggest galaxy-shaking event, right? The fate of the galaxy is really not at stake, right? It's not like Snoke is back something or, Palpatine's in it and, Vader's in it. Like, no, there's no crazy cameos. It's just a good action film, right? And yes, it does matter. The plot is good. It's, surface level at first, right? Mandalorian and Grogu were kind of fighting these Imperial Empire remnant warlords, right? And they're kind of going from system to system, planet to planet, and kind of making sure that they're, the galaxy is that much safer. And then, of course, it snowballs into the Rada, the Hutt thing, and it snowballs from there into something even greater. But Colonel Ward, Sigourney Weaver, she's in it. Not a whole lot, but she's in it, and she does a good job. Zeb's in it. Zeb doesn't do a whole lot. The villain is fine. It's probably one of the worst villains in all of Star Wars. He's kind of there, and then he's not. He didn't really do a whole lot. But the real crux of this film is Mandalorian, but also Grogu, right? So, in terms of positives, the action is great, like really, really good. The cinematography is excellent. The choreography is excellent. The comedy in there is really good. The writing is good. The acting is good. So all the music is fantastic. All the base level stuff is good, right? Like my issues with the prequels were the acting and the writing and some of the editing. This movie, pretty much what you'd expect, right? It's not, again, as polished as the sequels in terms of how they're presented, which we'll get into in a minute. But I do think that like a lot of the stuff you expect from these movies is there, and it's just as good as you remember. Really good stuff. But yeah, the action's great, and like I said, Grogu is really the heart of the film. This movie has a lot of heart. Not every Star Wars movie has that. Some of it's just kind of action and adventure, but this one has that and the heart to it, where, without ruining it, there are certain, like, Grogu for me in this movie really, it turned Grogu for me into just, from, I guess we started with Mandalorian Season 1, right, of like, oh, he's cute, and he's funny, and he's marketable, right? Kids love him. Now, kids, I don't think, another hot take, I don't think Star Wars is for kids. I don't really care what George Lucas says. Maybe he intended it to be for kids, but when you actually watch the content, it's very clearly not made for baby children. It's very much for teens and adults. I mean, literally the first movie starts out with a guy getting his neck broken, a whole hallway of people die, Luke's aunt and uncle get burned alive, and you see their charred skeletons, a guy gets his hand cut off, there's blood everywhere, there's swearing. It's not a kid's film. Do kids like it? Yes, but it's not for them, right? Kids probably would love crack, but it's not for them. You know what I mean? Kids love R-rated movies, right? Seeing blood and gore, ooh, edgy, right? But it's not for them, right? Now, obviously, Star Wars is not the most mature adult thing in the world, but it's also not made for toddlers and babies and kids, right? It's, in my opinion, again, every opinion is different. I don't agree with George. I think it is for teens and adults. In fact, 90% of the audience who watches it were teens and adults. Even the animated shows, go online, there are, like, no children watching this. It's all adults. So, yeah, like, I don't understand how they could say that, but Grogu is a kid-friendly looking enough character, right? He's cute, he's small, he makes funny sounds. Kids love Grogu, right? But it turned into a haha funny in season 1, right? Into, oh, this movie really made me appreciate Grogu as a character. He no longer, to me, is the cute, marketable guy, the Star Wars equivalent of the Minions, right? And you're still going to see Grogu in Target shelves and Toys R Us and Kohl's or, stores like that. That's never going to not happen. But for me, I care, like, I'm that Star Wars fan that I get deep into the lore. I want to know why this character does does the thing he or she does, what makes him tick, what's the fault, what's the rise. I care about these characters, and I want to really know everything I can about them. Jar Jar Binks is not just the goofy clown character, he's a tragically written character if you actually know the character, right? Grogu is not just the haha funny, cute, marketable guy. This movie really made him his own character and made me care a lot more about him than just, oh, he made a poop sound, right? Like, he actually really does stuff, and it makes it really, really memorable and impactful. I mean, the Anzellans are great, the stop motion effects are good, so everything you want in a Star Wars movie is here, right? It's got great action, good effects, good acting, good writing, good music, good story, good plot. I mean, again, people, I don't know what they were expecting, but this really is straight up, it's like a Rogue One and a Solo and a Clone Wars movie kind of plot, right? That's not to say it's bad. Is it simple? Yeah, right? It's not The Rise of Skywalker or The Last Jedi where there's layers upon layers of storytelling and crazy things happen. But it's also not a movie where you just put it on Disney Plus and you go, watch this, right? Like, no, this is a big movie event. Things happen. There are character arcs. Big things do happen. This is not just a movie where they're going through the motions and it felt like an episode they dumped onto the theater screen. This is a movie event. So please see it in theaters. But at that same time, there are some negatives which we're going to get into now. I think I don't have a whole lot. I know some of you think that, oh, Disney, perfect, good. But, no, I do have a few issues with this film. Are they big? No, right? But they are there. So, I mean, for my opinion at least, I think the lighting is an issue. I know a lot of people complained about the Solo movie, how that was, oddly too dark in certain scenes where, you couldn't see. I never got that effect from that movie. But this movie, I mean, they go to Nal Hutta, which, if you know, Nal Hutta is the planet of the Hutts, obviously. And the movie, it's very green and almost like puke-colored, which that's the point, right? That's how the planet is supposed to look. But there are certain elements where there are, darker scenes. And I don't mean subject matter. I mean, literally the lighting is too dark, where I'm sitting there in the theater and I'm like, the final fight between the Mandalorian and some other character, which I won't ruin, is very brown and gray and dark to the fact where I'm like, I feel like the lighting was kind of an issue. And it's weird because there are certain scenes and even moments where I feel like the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett show on Disney Plus looked better than a theatrically released film. Which is weird, because, back in the day, TV shows didn't have that kind of effing budget, right? Like, Disney Plus really, and I guess some Netflix shows and HBO Max and all that, but, like, Disney Plus, for Star Wars at least, and Marvel, they really pioneered the effects to be just as good as the movies, right? When you watch The Mandalorian show, you're not getting prequel-level CGI where it looks like early 2000s slop, you know what I mean? Like, it looks just as good as the 2019 Rise of Skywalker movie, or the Rogue One film, or Solo, Like, the effects look just as good. And I feel like that some of the effects in the Disney Plus shows were better than this film. And I don't know if they rushed certain things or, what happened, but certain characters and CGI characters felt a little bit, and maybe this, I got to get it on Blu-ray and check it out there, but I felt maybe this was like, I don't know, the theater I saw it in. I don't know, right? Maybe this is just a weird coincidence, but I felt like a lot of the movie was oddly blurry, where I feel like the effects were, they're good. Like, nothing in it was bad, but I feel like there were certain moments where I feel like, beside the lighting being off, some of the character work, like Rada looked good, right? But like the Anzellans looked good because they were, practical, but some of the other CGI things like the Duros and the food truck, Martin Scorsese's character looked a little bit blurry compared to how they looked in Solo. So, again, I don't know if this was an intentional thing by Jon Favreau or this was a weird theater thing because of the big screen. I'm not sure. But some of it did look a bit blurry, and I felt like that kind of led me to a bit of a disconnect where I was sitting there, and I was having fun, right? This is a fun action film. But I'm kind of sitting there, and I was like, well, it kind of took me out a bit, so I'm like, this doesn't look as good as it should, right? Or the X-Wings look a little bit too blurry, or, like certain things like that. Like, and I'm nitpicking, but, when you review things, you got to look for negative and positive. Because really, other than that, like, I really don't have any negatives to say. I mean, the opening is incredible. The action scenes are really good. The characterization between Mandalorian and Grogu is good. A lot of really cool set pieces, some good character moments. Again, does Colonel Ward and Zeb do a whole lot? Not really, no. They kind of show up, they say their one-liners, they shoot some stormtroopers, and then they piss off and they go away, right? So, not every character gets the Avengers Endgame treatment, right? Where, like, they have this crazy moment to shine and they all have these, or I should say Last Jedi, right? Where, like, every character has their own unique character arc and then it all kind of comes together at the end in one beautiful moment on Crate. It's not like that, right? Zeb says a cool one-liner, he shoots some guys, and then he comes back, right? Or Colonel Ward's barely in it, right? But that's not to say they're bad. It's just they're not in it a lot. So I feel like, and obviously it's not a Colonel Ward movie, it's a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So Colonel Ward is pretty much like the Modern Warfare. If you play the Modern Warfare games where, like, you get that Captain Laszlo or whatever, that girl who's telling Captain Price, like, oh, hey, we got this guy on this, country, and Captain Price is like, all right, let's go, brother, 6 going dark, boy. That's what she does. She gives Mando the job, and then Mando leaves and she stays. That's what it is. But I think that, leaving the film, yes, this is, like, I don't want people to get it twisted. This is not the massive sequel era where, there's a billion things going on, and oh my god, it is still a simple enough fun movie, right? When A New Hope released in 1977, and it was just called Star Wars, right? They didn't have all this crazy lore and this expansive canon full of all these video games and comics and books and shows and movies. It was just a fun action movie, and you went home, right? That was it. You go to the theater, you have fun, you go home. And of course, it ballooned from there. But The Mandalorian and Grogu, yes, it still has those deep cuts, but really, again, like Solo and Rogue One and the Clone Wars movie, it's still part of the same canon, and it has the references, and it has the meaning, and there is still big things happening behind the scenes that will eventually lead to the First Order, right? But yeah, it's you see a fun action movie, and then you go home, right? And for some people, that's not enough, right? Star Wars has kind of trained us over the years to expect big shit, right? Like, you play Star Wars Outlaws, and oh my god, Vader's in it. Or you play Star Wars Jedi Survivor, oh my god, there's Boba Fett, right? Or you watch the Darth Maul show, spoilers, oh, Vader's in it, right? Like, there's so many... People expect Star Wars now to have, like, a gotcha, where it's like, come see the movie, and then, you get treated to a really cool cameo, right? Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 2, Darth Vader in Rogue One, right? Rogue One is a beautifully made movie, and Darth Vader makes it better, but if you take Vader out, it's still a good movie. If you take Luke Skywalker out of The Mandalorian and replace it with some random Jedi no one knows, it's still a good season. You know what I mean? So people, sadly, are trained to expect a cameo. They are trained to expect the big gotcha moment that's going to get people in seats. This movie doesn't effing have that. It's just a good movie with a fun premise, great action scenes, and then you go home, right? And to some people, that's not enough. That doesn't warrant a theater viewing experience. But to that I say, are you a Star Wars fan then? Probably, maybe not. I don't know, right? If all you're expecting from Star Wars is the big, cameo, then you don't really care about the Mandalorian and Grogu, right? You just care about the big cameo. I care about these characters. I care about Zeb. I care about Mandalorian. I really care about Grogu now, right? I care about Rada. I care about all these things and this universe and this world. So I don't need a gotcha. I don't need a crazy Vader cameo at the last 10 seconds of the movie to say, to go on Twitter and be like, oh my God, see this movie for the crazy cameo. Like, no, you should see the movie because if you like Star Wars, you should see it. That's all it is. Like, end of sentence, period. If you like Star Wars, you owe it to yourself to watch this movie. It's a fun time. It's a great action film. Does it have a few issues? Yeah. I think the lighting could have been a little better. I think the CGI could have been a little bit tighter in certain spots, but nothing ruins the movie, right? Again, it's on the same level as Solo and Rogue One. One of the common complaints of Solo was, why should I care, right? Why should I see a movie about young Han Solo and why he meets Chewbacca and why he gets his name and why he gets his blaster and why he acts the way he does in A New Hope and why he's so bitter? Well, the answer is because you like Star Wars and you should care about this Han Solo character because he's one of the best characters in all of fiction, right? That's why. But people are like, oh, well, after The Last Jedi, why should I care, right? I'm more interested in Episode 9 than I am a Solo prequel. Well, okay, that's you. I care about Han Solo. I love that character. Of course I'm going to see a movie about his backstory and where he, why he becomes who he becomes and all of that. Like, that's interesting to me, right? I don't care about the big cameo. I care about the world and the universe that they're, in the galaxy that they're creating in, right? So every little breadcrumb of canon Star Wars I can take, I'm going to effing take it, and I'm probably going to like it, right? Maybe I won't. Who knows, right? Again, I'm not as biased as some people think I am. I have reasons why I love it, and I have reasons why I don't love it. And I just gave them to you right now. So again, as a Star Wars fan who actually enjoys this world and isn't just interested in the big cameo or isn't interested in spewing hate on Twitter because there's a woman in it or there's a black guy or there's an Asian, right? I care about the universe and this galaxy that George started with, right? And that Kathleen and Favreau and Filoni kind of took over. And I really, really just love everything about it. Like I said, I eat, sleep, and dream Star Wars. I really do. And every chance I get to be in that galaxy, I'm going to take. And ultimately, I was left satisfied with this film. It's a fun action film. It's got really good set pieces, some, really cool moments, funny moments, really great action scenes, good character development for Grogu especially. And it makes me want a season 4. It makes me want to see these characters again. And it just gets me more excited for this franchise. I cannot and never will understand the tweets online and people online on Reddit and stuff being like, oh, this movie's boring and Star Wars is dead. Like, I don't know who took their frickin' soul, but this is anything, not soul from the Acolyte, this is anything but boring, right? Like, I went with Mom, Dad, Nanny, Poppy, myself, and obviously, the whole crowded theater, and everybody was locked in as fudge. People were clapping and cheering and laughing, right? Nobody walked out going, that was the worst thing in the world. Star Wars is dead. Like, no one with a normal brain does that. Like, yeah, if you don't like the movie, that's fine, but no one with a normal brain is going to go on Twitter and be like, this is the worst movie ever made, and I hope everyone involved dies, and Disney died, and my childhood's ruined. It's like, people that spew that shit online are just mentally unstable, like, just straight up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they are. Like, no normal human would ever speak like that. You either like the movie and you move on, or you don't like it and you move on, right? People that have these hissy fits online 24/7 from a freaking 20-year-old movie or whatever, they got to get a freaking life. I mean, really, that's what it is. Like, they're losers. So don't listen to them. If someone's complaining and saying Disney Star Wars is dead and this is the worst movie in the world, probably either didn't see it or they're lying. Maybe that is their opinion, who knows, and they really think that, but I don't know how you could watch this movie and find yourself bored or thinking that Disney Star Wars, or just Star Wars, and it's not Disney Star Wars, by the way, it's just Star Wars. Disney doesn't make Star Wars, they just legally own it. No one called it 20th Century Fox Star Wars back in the day, so anyone who calls it Disney Star Wars is just a Disney hater, and they just have to spew their hatred by giving it a label. It is just Star Wars, not Disney Star Wars. Star Wars is not dead. It isn't. I mean, you've got new books, new comics, new games, new movies, new shows, new everything, new Lego sets, right? Like, Star Wars is more alive than it ever has been. And this movie is giving more fuel to that flame. So I highly recommend, if you call yourself a Star Wars fan and you actually care about this franchise, please see this movie. I beg of you. You will love it. I guarantee it. You will have a fun time. Maybe you'll have a few issues. Maybe you'll have the same issues I had. But ultimately, myself and everyone in that theater walked away smiling, laughing, and having a good time. It's a fun movie. It's a great movie. Is it the best one? No. I mean, if I were to rank the newer movies, it'd probably go Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens, Rogue One, Mandalorian and Grogu, and Solo, right? I don't hate any of those movies. Solo, I love Solo, but it's got to go at the bottom. Something has to, right? So yeah, like I said, as we walk away, few takeaways. If you like Star Wars, please see it. And again, it's okay to love Star Wars. It really is. I think, like I said, people got this phobia of, or they're too scared to admit that they like something because they're scared of what the internet will say. I've talked to people online. I've talked to people in real life who are like, "Oh, I was too scared to admit that I liked that because everyone else seems to hate it." And that's just not the case. More people love it than hate it, right? There are more of us. It's just that the people that hate it are so freaking loud and they're annoying, right? Well, literally, I have a family member who I saw him and he's like, "Oh, hey, dude, I saw The Acolyte." And I'm like, "Oh, God, he's going to freaking hate it." And he's like, "Dude, I loved it." He's like, "I loved it. I want a season 2. I'm going to get the book." He's like, this is a great show. I love the story. I love the action. I love the writing. I love the acting. I thought it was a really great Star Wars show. I don't know why people hate it. And I almost fell on the ground. I was like, "Oh my God, there's another one." You know what I mean? Like obviously my parents loved it, and Nanny and Poppy loved it, and Alan loved it, and the people that I actually talked to love it. Right? It's literally every human I've ever interacted with loved The Acolyte. But then you go on Twitter and, you get people either that, again, they saw a black woman and they had a conniption, or they just saw an Asian guy and they freaked out, or they didn't understand it and they went along with the bandwagon. Right now, I'm not saying you have to love that show, but I'm just saying that if you're too scared to admit you love something, don't be, right? I'm not scared of shit. I go out in public and I'm like, I fucking love her. I have a Last Jedi shirt and I wear it. I'm not scared. You know what I mean? I don't care. If you hate the movie, I don't care. I love it. Suck it up. You know what I mean? Get over it. So yeah, like I said, you gotta be brave. Don't be scared to admit you like something. All right, it's nothing to be ashamed of, right? If you genuinely love Skeleton Crew and you want season 2, like me, cool, say that. Don't be like, "Oh, I actually hate it." Don't get mad. Like, no, like be a man, be a woman, and say you like something, right? Again, so that's my takeaway. It's okay to love this franchise. It's a good thing to love this franchise. It's good and normal to love the sequels. It's good and normal to want to see this movie, right? Don't follow the hate that's saying Star Wars is dead. Don't follow the hate that says this is the most boring movie ever and it's actually an episode of the show. Like, no, I watched it. It's good. Is it perfect? No. But again, it's worth to see on the big screen. And as a Star Wars fan, it's really worth your time. It was a criffing good time, as they say, right? Really good. So let me know in the comments if you've actually seen The Mandalorian and Grogu, and you used your brain and you didn't just follow the hate online. Did you enjoy it? Yes or no? Again, give me some real reasons. Don't spoil it. But if you really hated it, I'm not going to, that's your opinion. But I just can't stand people that hate it for stupid reasons, right? Again, that's another video. But there are certainly, I could write a book about all the dumb reasons people hate this franchise, and I could literally correct them in a video. So if you want to see that, that'd be a fun one. That would just be me. It might be a longer video, but it would just be me going over every dumb reason why people hate these movies and these shows, and I would just tell them why they're wrong, respectfully. Again, like I said, a lighting issue, that's an objective mistake, right? Some of the CGI, a little weird. But at the end of the day, everyone in the theater walked away happy. So like I said, point being, it's okay to love this franchise. If you really, really do care about it, I would recommend going to see movies. Movies are not that expensive. If you just pay for yourself for like a bucket of popcorn, it's really not crazy. So yeah, as a Star Wars fan, I think it's really, really worth your time, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. And yeah, I'm going to get this one on Blu-ray. It's going to be great. This is the way. Yeah. I don't know why I did Keanu Reeves. We got to get Keanu Reeves in Star Wars, by the way.